Well, welcome to 2021, the first Captain General's commentary for 2021. And I thought a good place to start off is the media, trial of the media, and why all these different news channels, news outlets have such different takes on ostensibly the same news. Um, I get news from a different range of sources. But television is important as a source of news for me, and I watch anything from CNN News to Fox News to ABC Australia, Sky News UK, Sky News Australia, and then of course business news from Bloomberg, CNBC, um, and a range of other outlets. And I think it goes without saying that they say different things. That's pretty obvious. But it's ostensibly about the same news. So then the question becomes, well, why is that the case? You shouldn't be able to flip 8 channels and get such different takes from all these different outlets. But the reality is that that's the way it works. And I think the first thing to point out is news outlets have moved towards a format of panels, panels of perspective, so you don't have one anchor there anymore. You have an anchor who then crosses to a panel of panelists who give their own perspectives and their own views, which is very interesting. But at that point, that's commentary, that's editorializing. A lot of these panelists feel they need to give speeches. Some of these panelists have their own political campaigns with their own donors. So they have not just one audience, as in the viewers, there's multiple audiences. There's regular viewers, subscribers, and then they have, as a subset of that, their own party. They may have academic journals as an audience, and of course the news station themselves as an audience. So that makes the commentary highly specialized and quite mixed up when you think about it. And yet all you've done is you've got a news anchor talking about an event, an item of news, and then suddenly it's become a discussion, often an argument, and then out come the speeches from different panelists, and then maybe even recriminations. So I think the format is a bit of an issue. It's turned news quickly into comment. So obviously news outlets realize that news is all very well, but you've got to turn it into entertainment, infotainment as quickly as possible, and that means throwing to a panel in a lot of cases and getting them to give their opinion in real time, which can be an issue and lead to some interesting responses. But it will help to create division, debate, because literally the division kicks off from the news item in real time. And so there's a much smaller amount of time for reflection, or indeed any reflection, research, and the melee begins, the debate begins, and away you go, and you've sort of lost control of it, and everyone falls about arguing about it. So I think that probably is the main problem that we have with news outlets, the quick flick and switch over to panelist discussion, and their opinions and their editorializing. And then of course you've got the very real issue that different news outlets cater to different tastes quite openly, and they pitch to those bases. Some are left wing, some are right wing, I suppose, to use those simple terms. They are quite simple terms, left and right. CNN and Fox News are a good example of that. But then, there's the left wing. Apart from the Fox News side of things and the Murdoch empire, you might say, you've got the left wing who take a very different view, and to the extent that they think it's appropriate, they talk about the Murdochs and their effect on the media. To what extent that's true or not, I don't know, and I don't think they know either, but it certainly gets brought up. But on the left-wing side, you certainly in America, you have a significant divide, and there's a link between left-wing media and the Democratic Party as well. So to that extent, you then see on both sides political entanglements in the media, and obviously journalists need to get stories out of politicians, but then it can lead to a politicization of the media as well, which then becomes problematic and a matter of debate and argument, so on and so forth, and then it all moves from there. But ultimately, I suppose the real issue is a news channel is a news channel. It's meant to be giving you the news. If it's a comment and opinion channel, then it should really call itself a comment and opinion channel. And to some extent, these channels need to decide whether they're in news or comment and opinion, or news and comment and opinion. And in the case of Fox, I suppose, they chuck in humour as well. They have humorists working for them. And I think it's going to be difficult to deal with a range of divisive issues until the news channels segregate as much as possible, or flag as much as possible, what is news and what is opinion.